Hi guys, math lesson today. So lesson 109 is about corresponding parts and similar figures or back at geometry. So where we were yesterday is where we are today, just a few different things. So corresponding parts. This is pretty easy. So you should be on lesson 109 in your book, page 566. I tell you that so that you can maybe look at the pictures. Because they're better than the ones I'm going to draw. But anyway, they showed two triangles when we're talking about corresponding parts. So, you know what? Maybe I can hold my book up and that would be easier than drawing it. So they show these two triangles, these two here. Hold on a second, I'm going to move my camera a little closer. Okay, so these two triangles here. Okay, and if we're talking about corresponding parts, notice that this is triangle ABC and this is triangle XYZ. Okay, now if these two triangles are congruent. What does congruent mean? Congruent means that they're the same size and they're the same shape. Okay, same size, same shape. So when we talk about corresponding angles, we're talking about something that's congruent. Okay. So it means the angles that are the same in either place. So if you notice in your book, or if you can see, so it says angle A corresponds with angle Z. So if you have to, you're going to have to maybe flip these in your mind. Flip A to look like Z, right? So if I did that, maybe I can draw this one out for you. So if I flipped that, so I have XYZ here. And what I have to do is get ABC to look like XYZ or vice versa. But if I flip this over, pretend these are, when I do this, pretend these are the same. Okay, this is a 90 degree. Okay, so if I flip them over, I need to make sure that I label them correctly. Okay, so angle A corresponds to angle Z. Angle B angle A corresponds to angle X. Ooh. Angle B corresponds to angle Y, and angle C corresponds to angle Z. Okay, so you can also do sides, corresponding sides. Okay, so AC corresponds with XZ, AB corresponds with XY, and CB corresponds with ZY. So it's what's the same when you lay them on top of one another. So sometimes you're going to have to figure out in your head or on your paper how to get those turned in the right way, which is what we did yesterday, right, with geometry. So if you look at example 1, it says these triangles are congruent. So they draw two triangles. And let me draw them for you. It says, what is the perimeter of each one? Now, when they're congruent, it means that they're the same, right? So if they're the same, you're just going to have to make believe that mine are what we say here. Okay, and then we do this, and this is our 90 degree angle. Now, each one of these, when we're figuring perimeter, each one of these has a side missing. This one has a side missing, and this one has a side missing. But they told us that these are congruent, right? Which means that they would have corresponding sides. The side lengths would be the same. So if I know that this is 4 inches here, and this one here is 3 inches, and it meets at my 90, I'm going to guess that this one here is 3 inches. Actually, I'm not going to guess. I'm going to know. Okay? And if I did it over here, I know I'm missing this long side, so I know it's 5 inches. Okay? Now, they're the same, so you would just add them up. So 5 and 4 is 9 plus 3 is 12. So the perimeter of these triangles is 12 inches. So that's what you know when you have a corresponding side lengths when you have congruent triangles. Okay? Now, here's what else we're going to talk about. Similar shapes. Now, when we were talking about congruent shapes, we know they're the same size, we know they're the same angles, and everything is the same. When we talk about similar shapes, we can tell that on similar shapes, they have the same shape, but they're not the same size. Sorry, it took me a minute to get that out. They have the same shape, but they're not always the same size. But here's what we do know. They all have, if they're similar, they have the same angles, okay? We know a triangle equals 180 degrees. They're inside those three angles equals 180 degrees. So if they're similar, they aren't going to have the same size, but they're going to have the same shape, and they're going to have the same angles, okay? So if we look at example 2 on page 568, we have two triangles. Okay, triangle B, C, and A. And then we have a different triangle that they did not name, but that they tell us is similar, okay? And then in it, they give us the degrees, okay? So you have triangle ABC, which we know is a right triangle. They're telling us this is a similar triangle. Pretend that these are the same shape, okay? We know that this is 60 and 30, okay? Here's what they want to know. They said, what is the measure of angle A? Now we need to figure out from here where angle A would be. Now, if I was doing this in my head, I would flip this so that it looked like this, okay? So I would flip A to look like this, okay? And if this is my right triangle, my right angle, I know that this is C, okay? And if I flipped C to look like this, I know I put A here and B is here. So if I need to know what the angle for A is, right, or the measure for angle A, I can look at my triangle that they gave me the measures on. And I know that angle A equals 30 degrees, okay? So you're gonna have to flip sometimes in your head. Now remember, similar angles have similar shapes. They have the same shape, but they don't have the same size. They do have the same angle measure. So it says here are two important facts about, now that was with triangles. Now we're going to talk about polygons.